which Coronation Street characters do I need back? Now, admittedly, we don't spend much time on this channel talking about Coronation Street. I don't really know why. I think it's because I just have a lot of kinship for Coronation Street. But in terms of like stuff I've gone back and watched a lot more of, I have kind of resided more towards Hollyoaks, simply because it's a lot more available. So if a lot more Coronation Street was available, I think I'd go back a lot more, because I do genuinely love the soap. And like, you know, I started watching EastEnders again, and was watching EastEnders for a good like 2 years before I started watching Coronation Street. So it was another thing I watched during the pandemic. So thank you, pandemic, for allowing me a whole lot more love towards Coronation Street. Obviously, I'd watched bits in the past. I'd watched the Sophie Maddie. I'd watched the Sophie and Sean. But you know, I gave it the time. It was during the Asher and Corey, like Asher and Corey start of the relationship and the leaks. But yeah, but you know, on this channel, I didn't really give Coronation Street much love. That's mostly because it's embroiled in the Stephen Reed stuff, but otherwise, there's a lot of stuff I do really love. I do love the Daisy and Ryan will they, won't they, and I look forward to seeing all the stuff that unfolds as a result. I am kind of worried about what's going to happen this Christmas, though. Maybe it's the Rovers getting saved or something. I don't know. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about characters I want to see back. I brought 3 names just to pitch in front of you to see how you take. One of them is controversial, one of them is dead, and the other one is returning. So ultimately, my list wasn't the most inspiring. Let me hear what yours is, as I love to hear what you guys think. As I said this in the Hollyoaks video as well, but my scope of soaps is so much more limited than yours. I started watching Corrie in 2020, so I watched the last 3 years. I watched 2019, I watched 2018, I think I started 2016, and then I think I watched like 2000 and a bit 2001, but that's where a lot of the episodes ran out. But I watched a lot of the stuff in between. I watched the clips that everybody's watched, like the David Platt compilations. I watched the Tommy Harris death, you know, and soap storylines does a really good job. And obviously I watched some of my favourite stuff, which leads into a character that I'll talk to a little bit later. But first, just to get out of the way so I get absolutely pasted in the comment section, because most of the characters I do love are dead, and it's quite hard to actually think of which characters I want who did just leave, I'm gonna have to say, for characters I want to see back, I want to see Alina back. I know, she's awful, dodgy accent, terrible writing, weird, meow. But I'm a Tyrone little softie, me. I love Tyrone. He's such a little knobber. He's so stupid, but I love him. I absolutely love him. And I was all in for the Alina fucking affair. I was ready for it. I was like, bring it on, boys. You know, I never liked Fizz. I always thought she was annoying and awful and loud and obnoxious, and you know, I've lessened my stance on that through time, because obviously they were setting up for them to split up and then eventually get back together, as it's them who truly loves. But Alina was a fun little like lifeline. It was the first storyline Tyrone's gotten in a while, and it was a lovely little stupid affair that was funny. It was wholesome. I thought they were like actually well matched, but obviously, you know, for the storyline they're not, of course. I just thought it was great fun. As Alina was all in and Tyrone was half in, half out. I thought it was great fun though. That's why I'd bring Alina back personally. I know she's one of the most hated Coronation Street characters, or just one of the least interesting ones. But like, you know, when she had stuff to do, she was good. It's just she didn't get to do much half the time. But there we are. Let's not spend too long saying that I want Alina back. Mostly because they obviously set up the stuff that Tyrone's now got another kid. You know, she was pregnant when she left, I believe. Just like how when Ruby Allen left, Martin now has another kid. Apparently. We need to see Alina back. We need to see her come back with Tyrone's kid and be like, this is your child and you're helping raise this. And, you know, then it's conflict with Fizz. I'm sure they'll just make Tyrone adopt the child and have Alina leave in, like, disgrace or something. But, you know, ultimately, bring her back. Fine by me. Next up, we have Bethany Platt, which is a fucking no-brainer. Bethany was a very cool character and a very capable actress that was given a lot of good stuff to do. Oh, I've just thought of another one I can put in there. Holy shit. You know, Bethany was, you know, she lived a pretty rough life, but she was trying her best to manage. She had the on and off again relationship with Daniel. You know, she had the sexual abuse at the hands of Nathan. She had that lovely little dynamic with Craig. Like, it's, I don't know, man. I just really like Bethany. She's just such a cool character. She was a hard worker. She wanted to do things. And she was just great fun. The Platt family's old, like it's old. And, you know, Bethany was this, like, fucking spring chicken, like, fuck it, I have an affair here, fucking relationship with Ryan, relationship with Daniel. And I know she's being brought back, and that's what I look forward to. And I know that she's on the list despite, like, the return's been confirmed. But it's just, I don't know, a lot of soap families usually, once they've been going as long as the fucking Platts have, they usually run out of numbers and get pretty, like, dire in terms of who's actually available. And bringing back Bethany will bolster it, will help Sarah regain her confidence. You know, maybe Sarah has the baby. Wait, no, she lost the baby, never mind. You know. But Bethany is a very, very good character. I do love her. Next up, we have Kelly Nealon. Obviously, she was brought in to, you know, she was like more chavvy, more trashy. And then through time, she, you know, just like most things, she went to prison wrongly for the murder of Seb, the attack of Mina. And then we slowly saw her, like, open up. We saw her start to exist on the street on the cobbles without anybody giving a fuck. And then she developed this really wholesome yet cute relationship with Addie. And this led into the whole arc where she was then betrayed because she realized that Gary killed Rick, her dad. And she tried to get it set up. She obviously ended up in Addie getting shot with a gun. And that kind of really sad but tragic, like, Addie, I've got to go now. As they did really love each other. That was a genuine relationship there. They cared for each other very much so. And they absolutely turned it up to fucking 10 for that storyline. It was fantastic stuff. It established two new main leading actors. It was just really tragic and it was fantastic. So yeah, Kelly is on the list as well. And I'm not sure why I don't really have much to say. I think I'm a bit sleepy, so I'll blame it on that. But I guess it's more so the fact that I haven't really given myself much time to genuinely think through. But, you know, this video is mostly just here to give a voice to the comment section to see who you bring back. Because I will be able to, like, actually respond to it properly rather than me in, like, fucking brain dead mode. I suppose finally, I'm never going to get a chance to do this again. But the character that I would have always brought back was Kirsty Soames. She was the abuser of Tyrone. They were in this long-running relationship in this weird, like, family situation with Tina and Tommy and Tyrone. And, you know, she worked her way into his life and then started hitting him. And then, you know, eventually blamed it on Ty. Said he was having an affair. Said he was hitting her. Had Ruby. And just struggled. And I always wanted Kirsty to be a character who they brought back eventually. And I'm not sure how I'm not sure how realistic it is, because obviously Kirsty was an abuser. I'm not sure how, like, I've never done the research as to how they would go ahead and try to say she was rehabilitated. But I would have loved to seen her come back to the show and essentially go, look, I've changed. I've had therapy. It's been 10 years. I'm a much better person than I used to be. I want to be in Ruby's life. You know? And then they have that thing of, like, you know, will she hit him, but she doesn't. You know, she's got, like, she's worked very hard on herself. And, like, just a rehabilitation storyline for someone in this situation, where you see that they you know, and I'm not sure how realistic it is, because I don't know how abusers work. I don't know if abusers get better or if they just slip back into their old ways. But I like to imagine the rehabilitation and the therapy and the jail time probably would have helped a lot. But obviously they decided to kill her off screen to play a part in Fizz and Tyrone's raising of the kids, and it was so fucking sad. Because you have this really cool story, and I get it, the character's not returning, the actress isn't returning ever again. But the Tyrone Kirsty storyline is one of my favourite storylines in soap history, if not probably my favourite. Not because instead of it just being like, oh yeah, Kirsty's despicable, she just keeps hitting Tyrone, you kept seeing glimpses as to why her life was so tragic, that she didn't want to hurt Tyrone, but this is just how they came out. And then once she started hitting Tyrone, she couldn't stop. It was too easy. It was too easy to do. Like, you know, her dad was a fucking awful, terrible human being. And, you know, you just wanted them to be happy. And Tyrone just wanted them to be happy as much as, you know, he could have, because he was getting fucking hit. Oh, but bloody hell, it's just... I always thought that it would have been a really interesting angle to go through and essentially exhibit why. And I always thought it'd be a really interesting way to kind of look at why it was so important to... Because in a lot of these abuse storylines, alright, they're not just abusing them because they're a massive, like, fucking piece of shit and like the control. A lot of them are. But, you know, there were some genuine reasons as to why she was doing this, and you could tell that she did genuinely love Tyrone, but she just couldn't stop herself at some point, and there was no easy way to stop it. And, you know, I'm not condoning this behaviour either. I'm not doing it, but they told it in a way where the character was tragic. And I love tragic characters, me. I absolutely adore tragic characters, and I feel bad for even saying, like, oh, you know, it's a really good thing, but it was so good. It was such a good storyline. You have Tyrone down on his luck. He's found the woman of his dreams. Oh, he's now getting hit by her. Like, I don't know. I always love the idea of bringing her rehabilitated back. Bringing her to show that you can get better. You know, you can move on. You can address some of the issues. But maybe that's a bit too forward thinking. Maybe it's a bit too far-fetched for the situation. I've not exactly done the research or had any of the general, like, knowledge of this. So, ultimately, it was one thing I always wanted back. And I was absolutely miserable when they did say that Kirsty had died alone in a flat. Nobody fucking knew. Nobody found her for a couple days. So then it was up to Tyrone to confront his past and, like, fucking... Now he has to do a funeral for Kirsty. And... I don't know, I really would have liked it to have been a bigger storyline. Because it's not often that you get to bring back someone genuinely impactful from someone's past. and have it uproot everything. I thought it would have been such a cool storyline to see her slowly get integrated. I'd even put them back together. I'd put them back together. I know it's toxic, I know it's a bad idea, but I'd put them like back together mostly just to kind of show that, you know, Kirsty's worked through a lot of her issues. Maybe they keep raising their family. But a lot of this was when I was on the Fizz hate bandwagon, so I'm like, oh, it's fucking shit, like. I've obviously much lessened on this because I kind of had to let it go, because ultimately she's dead, so what the fuck am I going to do about it? That was annoying. But yeah, that's my closure. That's it. I don't need to bring this up anymore. I don't have to talk about this anymore. I can let this all fucking leave. Because I loved Kirsty Soames. Like I said, the slightly mental characters, the slightly crazy characters who will do some terrible things but will like rationalize it away. I thought she was such a tragic character, and like I said, that is my definite favorite Coronation Street storyline ever. Because I don't know, it was so engrossing. I couldn't stop watching it. And I'm still sad about it. I'm still sad about it. But what did you think about it? Which Coronation Street characters do you need back? And tell me in the comment section down below. As said before, if my opinions aren't that interesting, just know that you probably got a much larger scope than I do, so you could actually pull from much different parts in time. I, though, have been Ash from Watching Walford. I'd like to thank you for paying attention to the video. If you liked it, make sure to follow us on our social medias. Twitch at Watching Walford, Twitter /X at Watching Walford, and Instagram at Watching Walford. Make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, and make sure to tell us what you think in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching. I do genuinely appreciate it. And yes, tell me which Coronation Street characters you need back.